Hi folks, this is Karim Rao from IT Visualizer channel. Today we'll continue our lab, the COVID-19 lab. This is the video number 17. We have been discussing in the previous video the following. We have prepared a workstation that has joined the domain, and then we installed on it the ADMware software to test it and to see the different options in it. By the way, the ADMware, it is like a centralized tool. Okay, from it you can remotely connect to any PC in the domain and to do a lot of things. So it's not only a remote tool to connect to any PC in the domain, but it has different things. It is an inventory tool, it is a debugging tool, it is a troubleshooting tool, so you can test or you can troubleshoot network connections using this tool. You can have an inventory of the PCs using this tool. It gives you a lot of information. You can access the hard disk of the machines from this tool, so you don't need to go remotely or to connect remotely to PC to access its hard disk. You can access it from the software directly, and a lot of things. So the ADMware tool, it is a tool created or produced by SolarWinds company. Okay, it's a very effective tool for the system admin to control all of the PCs in the domain. So another example of this tool, you can reset the local admin password on any PC using this tool simply by just clicking on a simple option to reset it. Okay, and there is a lot of things you can do using this tool, so I urge you all to install it and test it. But be careful, because there was a recent hack to all of the SolarWinds products, so you need to make sure if there is a security update for this software and apply it to rectify or to solve this security issue. Okay, and one of the options of the ADMware, that you can make a software inventory, so you can, using this software, know what is the software installed on any PC in the domain. So this is a software inventory tool as well. So we use it to make a software inventory for all of the 2 workstations or all of our PCs and servers. We have 2 domain controllers and we have 2 PCs, so we have 4 in total. So we have make a software inventory for all of them using the ADMware, and then we try to connect remotely using the ADMware tool to the primary domain controller. Okay, and we have seen the lot of options for the remote connection using ADMware. So you can chat through the ADMware tool. Okay, so you can chat with the one sitting on the PC remotely. So if you are connecting remotely using the ADMware, you can chat with it using a chat box. You can take a screenshot, you can print a screen, you can do a lot of things. So you can connect to any PC in the domain using the ADMware tool, but to do this you need to install an agent. So you will not be able to connect to any PC in the domain remotely through the ADMware unless the ADMware agent is installed on the PC, and he does this automatically. You just give him a username that have full rights on the PC and have full rights to install software, and then when he connect to the PC for the first time, he will see that there is no agent, and he will notify you that I need to install the agent, and he will install it automatically if you give him the right user that have the right permissions on the PC. So we have done this, and we have seen all of the options in this fantastic software from my point of view, and this is the best software I have used to manage the PCs remotely and to make an inventory. So I urge you all to test it. There is a lot of software like ADMware. There is I think there is AnyDesk, but AnyDesk is not like this, and there is a lot of things, but this is the one most famous. Okay, and the one that I've been using for years. So now in this video we will begin working with the deployment. So for example, I have 70 or 80 PCs in my domain, and I need to deploy certain software to all of them. What is the tools that we can use to deploy software to a large number of PCs in the domain? You can use a group policy that this we will use in this video, and I'll show you all how we can do it. And we can use a software called PDQ. This is one of the softwares that have a simple interface you can use to deploy a large number of software to a large number of PCs at once silently, okay, without the user even feel it. Okay, it is a prepaid, or it is a paid software, but there is a free version of it. You can use it to install software to 25 PCs. It is limited to only 25 PCs. Okay, so we will use it and we'll see it, and later we will use the PowerShell script to deploy software also to a large number of PCs using a way called Chocolatey, or to use reciprocity, or software house, let's say not face of software house storage, or a way called Chocolatey. We will test it, not this video, the upcoming video. So in this video we'll begin working with deploying software using these two methods, using the PDQ software or using the group policy, and we will install a software called ADManagerPlus. This is a software that is used to manage the Active Directory. It gets, or it displays a lot of information concerning the Active Directory, and it is a reporting tool, so you can get a lot of reports or useful reports using this software, and you can get useful information concerning the Active Directory. For example, he gives you a dashboard with how much users didn't log in for a certain amount of time, how much computers didn't join the domain, and also it is a query tool, so you can query the Active Directory for any information you need. It query the database of the Active Directory and give you the reports or the data that you need. There is a lot of info concerning this software. It's a very good software, and later we will see that we can delete a lot of users or groups or any Active Directory object using this utility very simply. And not only this, when you delete the users in the Active Directory, you can delete their Active Directory home folder with them. So this is also a good tool. This software, it is a paid software, but it is very useful, and we will begin working with some simple options from it. If you need to see more options or discover more option, I urge you all to download it and work with it. So let's begin and see in our video how we will work with the deployment software and to work with the ADManagerPlus software. So let's begin. Here we will open the VM Workstation Pro, and then here what we will do, we have taken a lot of snapshots, and I discussed before that a snapshot, it is like taking a backup for the virtual machine. So we have taken a lot of snapshots for these two machines. So first of all, this is the primary domain controller. Here we can see that we have about 4 or 5 snapshots. I need to delete them all because they take a lot of space, so we will delete them. So we will click on any one of them. Okay, so here we will click on this one and tell him to delete. We will delete all of these, okay, and leave this one. So let's pass it real quickly. So here we are deleting. When you delete a snapshot, he tell you, are you sure you want to delete the snapshot? And we tell him yes, and then we begin deleting all of them. So delete all of them. Just a moment. So here, so you will delete this, and then we will leave only one snapshot. This is for the primary domain controller machine. So this is like a cleanup of the snapshots. And by the way, if you are working in a virtual machine or a vSphere environment and you have snapshots, take care to take regular snapshots for your virtual machines, and to delete your snapshots regularly when they are old or they are not needed. So this is also something to take into consideration. Okay, so here I'm just cleaning the snapshot. So again just a moment. So here we have deleted it. Okay, and then we will close. This is for the primary domain controller virtual machine. Then we will do the same for the additional domain controller. We'll take the snapshot manager and then begin deleting the different snapshots. Okay, so it will take a little bit of time. You can just pass it real quickly here. So here we are deleting the snapshot. Okay, and again so we are deleting the snapshot. I don't need you all to see this process because it's very slow, so we can just pause the video, and this is it. And now we have deleted all of the snapshots. Now we will power on the primary domain controller and then the secondary domain controller, and then begin installing the different we need to install the PDQ, we need to install the ADManagerPlus. We will install a small tool called Hyena. This is and DumpSec. These are two tools you can use to retrieve Active Directory information. So you can use it to get information about the groups, the users. You can use them to get group policies. You can use them to get different things like the password policy and a lot of things. Here it's saying that the virtual machine was shut down improperly, so you need to give him a reason why it was shut down improperly. I don't know the reason actually, but maybe it was because of a slow performance or the shutdown was not complete. Anyway, so now we will begin installing the Hyena software. Hyena, this is, as I said before, it is also a paid software, but you can use it for 32 days without or unlimited. It gives you reports about the Active Directory, so you can get reports concerning the users, the groups, the group policies, the password policy, the permissions on the shared folders in your file server. All of these can be done. So we have just ejected the so here, just let me see here, we have ejected the Office DVD, and this is the Hyena software. We will install it, and there is also DumpSec. DumpSec, it is a tool, a free tool we used in the earlier days to dump or to get the group policy of the domain controller, or to get the default password policy of the domain controller or the domain, and to get different different policies from the domain. Okay, and to dump also to get the local group policies on the server, the local users on the server. Anyway, let's configure the Hyena. And we will see it is very simple software with very simple tools. You can discover it simply. Here is the shared folder between my laptop and my virtual machine. Here I am getting some software. So here I am getting the software of ADManagerPlus because I need to install it, and Acronis, I will use it later, so I need these two software. So I copy it from my laptop to my virtual machine. So here I will paste it. So this is the direct link between my laptop and my virtual machine. So we have the Acronis, and we will use it later, and I'll show you all why. And the Hyena, and the ADManagerPlus, and then we will get I think dump event or DumpSec. This is also one of the softwares, but this is the free software to get Active Directory inventory, or to take Active Directory, or to dump Active Directory information from the Active Directory database. So here I think this is the templates. I don't know why I am using this folder. Anyway, so here I am getting also let's show you all what I am doing here. This is or called the drive download. I need this folder. This folder contains some software utilities, okay, that will do a lot of things. I will show you all. We can use it for audit. So these tools, or this zipped file, contains a lot of audit tools you can use to trace the user activity. You can trace his internet activity, you can trace his login activity. So I will show you all, and we will make a case scenario, and we will see how these tools will help us. These are free tools on a website called Nearsoft. I will discuss it later, but take care of these tools. They are zipped. I will show you all what they will do, but they are very useful. So here we will take this folder. I will copy it also, but first I need to unzip it and then copy it. So this is a lot of things, and then now we will install the Hyena software. We need to accept the license agreement, next, and then it will be installed in C program files, and then install, and then finish. It will ask you when you open it if you need to work with the free version or the free license, or you have a key or a license to unlock it forever or to use the licensed version. So here we will take this folder. This contains the different utilities we will use to monitor or to audit the user's activity. So just a moment, guys. So let's continue, guys. Now we will begin installation of the Hyena software, and we have already installed it, and then we are copying the different tools that we will use to trace most of the user's activity. Here we can see that from the names we can have a view on the event log. This is software last activity, product key, recent file views. So there are a lot of useful utilities. I will show you all from a very good website, but take care, it's a freelancer, or this is software for a free programmer. It is free, so you need to take care. I have scanned it, there is no problem. So and I have tested it, it is useful, so just take care and test it. But this is very useful software introduced by one that likes free software, okay, so something like this. But he is, I have to thank him because they are very useful software. So here we will copy them, and then we have extracted them because they are all zipped files. And now we can see the Hyena software, so we will open it. It's a very simple software actually. We don't need to go further in it. We will just give you a quick hint on it, so you can check for updates, but says that it doesn't, there is a missing DLL file. So now we will open the software of Hyena. So Hyena, and then this is the icon. Here you can see it asking is we have 30-day free trial, or if you have a registry key, so you can put the registry key and use the software. And there is a special newsletter for this the utility itself, but I will not contribute to it. Anyway, we can see here that it's very simple. Here is the domain, and this all of the contents of the domain. So here he grouped the groups in a menu, and the users in the menu, and the global groups in a menu, the local groups on the server, universal groups, computers, user rights. All of these are under the domain, and you can see here that you can query the Active Directory. You can make a VMI. This is a very useful one. You can the VMI. This is a way to query and get the information of the PC using something called VMI. So you can get the serial number. You can get a lot of useful info of the hardware of the PC using the VM queries. So this is also a good thing, and he gives you an alternative or a lot of options to query what type of hardware. So this is a very good one. And you have here functions you can export. So let's see here. If you get functions here, you can export to Excel access. You have a lot of things. You can print, you can sort, and have a lot of sorting capabilities. Anyway, it's useful one. Okay, I will not go further in it. Here we can see that when open computers, that gives us all of the computers in the domain. So let's go further here. So anyway, I will not go much further in it. Here we can see that when we go to the users, also we have all of the users in the domain. So this is a good thing. And actually we will begin just a moment. I said before, I will not talk much about this software, but now we will go and install the AD Manager, and this is a very useful tool to manage the Active Directory and to make queries from the Active Directory. So this is the software. We'll tell him yes and install it. Next, port 8080, because it will be run through a browser, so it's it will be ran, or it will be run through a browser, so it needs to use port 8080 to run the software from it, or to attach the software website to it. Okay, it's something like a website, so let's consider it, and then we will use it. Next, and then you will need some info about the name, the email, and anything. So here you can see that this is a utility that contains a lot of useful reports, not only for the Active Directory, there is for the Office 365. There is a lot of things to do with this software. You can manage the Active Directory, delete users, create users, automate the process of creation of users. So there is a lot of things. Actually, I didn't discover this software in full, but I use it for a certain purpose, to delete a bulk of users once through this program, and to get reports, and to delete Active Directory home folders for a lot of users also in one step. So I didn't discover the software as a whole, but I urge you all to discover it. I will use it for a certain purpose. So here it's installing the software, so we can pass it also real quickly. So it will take a little bit of time. Here it says here, for example, it auto execute repetitive tasks like unlock users, so and so, automate onboarding process, error free provisioning, compliance. So you can get reports from the Active Directory to see if you are in line with the compliance, or in line with the IT standards. Okay, there is some IT standards issued or published by non-profit organizations, something like CIS. I will show you all later how we can see if we are complied, our security are complied with the IT standards or the IT security standards. So here he can say also auto manage entire user lifecycle right from the creation to deletion. So we can make an automation process for the creation of the user and the deletion of the user. So this can be done using automation or scripts. He does it automatically. So let's continue. Here we will go further, and then let's see that when we open the software, so let's open it. We'll open the ADManagerPlus, and then I think we will begin doing something else. Let's wait for a moment. Here we will begin until the software is opening. We will take some programs and put them in the background folder. So I have a shared folder called backgrounds. I will take a lot of software that I need to deploy to a lot of PCs in the domain and put them in this shared folder, okay, and tell the group policy to access this shared folder and run these programs from this shared folder and deploy it to a lot of PCs. So there is one condition: when you use this software, or if you want to deploy a software to a lot of PCs in the domain, it is preferable to have the software extension file, or the source of the software, or the setup file of the software to be .msi, because it is much easier to deploy a software with .msi extension than with other extensions. So for example, if you have a software with .exe, it is harder to deploy it on a large scale, but if it is .msi, it will be much easier. Okay, so what we will do now, we will copy a lot of softwares. So here, for example, let me show you all. So here I will copy, for example, 7-zip. This is a program for compressing and decompressing files, and I need to install something called VLC. This is like a media player, and I will install Classic Shell and Firefox and Google Chrome. So all of these softwares, I will take their setup source files, .msi files, and put them in the background shared folder, and use the group policy to access this shared folder and deploy this software from it. Okay, so just a moment, guys, just a moment. Let's continue, guys. Now we will begin collecting the software that I need to be deployed and put it in a shared folder, and then use the group policy to point it to this shared folder, okay, and deploy the software from this shared folder. So now what I am doing here, I am getting first of all, this is the PDQ software. So this is the software that we'll use to deploy, or this is the second way to deploy software using the PDQ software. So here I am copying it, and then I will install it as well. So let's wait. So here is the PDQ, and then we will install it. This is a free version, okay. There is a commercial one. The free version, it will let you deploy to 25 PCs. So this is the limit. So we cannot deploy more than this, okay. So here I will use it to deploy a couple of programs. Okay, so now this is the ADManagerPlus. It is still preparing, or it is loading the application. So now I think we can pause also this real quickly. So now it will open. Just a moment here. Here this is the software, but we need to first see how we will log in. Here it's give you, just a moment guys, so here it will give you you are using the software password. This is admin, and this is the password, or the default password. You can use, this is ADManagerPlus authentication, so you can use the software local password. I think there is another option to use the Active Directory. So if you assign an Active Directory user to log into this software, this can be done, okay. So, and you can see here there is a help desk associate. So there is a lot of things you can do with this software. It is for help desk. So for example, you can use it to reset password, create new accounts. So this is a software you can use it literally from any PC, because it is on a browser, okay, or it is something like a web. It is an internal web site, so you can access it from any PC, and you can create. So this is good. You can, for example, give your associate IT or your junior IT a password to reset or make an account, or make it use this software to reset passwords, okay. So this is very good, and you can make it, for example, create accounts. So you can have two IT, one for resetting password and the other for creating new accounts through this software, and this will be limited only to these two options, I think. So this is a good one, or this is the good option anyway. So we will use this software and log in, and then we will see the first thing. The dashboard gives you some useful information. So the first thing that we will see in this software, we will see a lot of tabs, but the first thing that we will have a notice, or we will take notice of it, the reports. So here you can see that, for example, here you tell me to save the password, okay. So if we make it maximize, here we can see that he will give you some useful information. Here we will see here he is also preparing for the PDQ. This is the installation of the PDQ. So I'll tell him next, and then accept the license agreement, and then next, and then the software will be installed in this location, and then next, install. And then we will see that here, for example, the ADManagerPlus gives you how much users didn't log in for 30 days, and inactive computers, how much computers are not active, and a lot of useful information. So I will pin the website for this software here, and then finish the installation of the software. Here we can see that inactive computers, for example, groups without members. So here there is groups in the Active Directory without members in it. So here we can see that you can delete from here, you can make reports, you can export them as an Excel, a PDF. I will show you all in a moment how we can do this. But anyway, this is a lot of useful information, and we will see that we can do a lot of things. So here, for example, we can see also that there is a lot of tabs. This is the Active Directory management, so we can manage the Active Directory from here, create users, delete users, so on, and there is the reports. You can make reports from here. I think this is for the Office 365, and this is for Active Directory delegation. Anyway, I didn't use all of them, but actually I am concentrating on these two, the management and the reports. Here we can see that he giving you the total number of the users in the domain, how much users didn't log in for 30 days, so he says 4,365, and the total is 4,368, and there are 3 users that are currently active, and you have 2 disabled users. Here you have the number of computers. This is total of 255 inactive, not used for or not logged in yet. 250. You have disabled computers, number of workstations 253. So he is differentiating between the devices, if it is servers or workstations. So this is 253 workstations, and you have 2 domain controllers. So you have a lot of useful info actually. Very good useful information, and we can tweak it and have custom info. Here we can see, for example, that there is some info also. Here we can see that recently logged on users, there is 3. Recently bad logged in user, this is logged in with incorrect password. So this is recently bad logged, okay, and soon to password. I think this is the password expire maybe. I don't know, but I didn't see it. And here is the number of security groups. So you have 87 Active Directory groups, okay, and they are all security groups, not distribution groups. These are used frequently in the Exchange. And here is 0, and there are a number of groups without members. So there is groups, or 39 groups without users in it. And the number of the organizational units, you have 52. So this is very useful information, and is graphically introduced. So we can see that this is a very good tool, and we will use it later to manage the Active Directory, but this is the first impression, okay. Here you can see that it contains a lot of info. So if you go to the AD reports, you will see that we can see that there is a lot of reports. Here is report all users, users with empty attributes or with fields that are not filled with data. Duplicate, so users will have duplicate attributes, or for example, if you have a user with the same for example title, so this is duplicate, okay. So you have 2 users with different names, but they have the same title, so this is a duplicate, so the title is duplicated. So this is 1. Users without managers, so if there is a field in the Active Directory that you can add the manager of the user, so you can get a report with user without managers, and you can see here managed based user, all managers of the users, photo based reports, recently modified users. If you modify the user data, for example, on the Active Directory, recently created users in the Active Directory, deleted users, users in more than 1 group. So this is very useful information. And there is something for the Skype, disabled users, enabled users, the users that are allowed to dial in, something I think for the VPN, and users with login script. So the users that will have login script applied on them. This is all of the domain. You remember we have the mycomputer.bat script. So this is it will get us the report. Users without login script. You have a lot of things here we can see, and they are put in some logical grouping. For example, this is the users reports, password reports, group reports, computer reports, exchange reports, contact reports, organizational units, group policies reports. So there is a lot of data we can use from this magnificent tool. Disabled users, you can get the status of the account, disabled, expired password, account expired password, inactive users, real last login, recent logged in users. All of these are good, and you can import or export them. So I'll only take the group or the report for all users. You can use the rest, or you can discover the rest, okay. So we will take all users report, and then we will generate. So here we'll tell him to generate the report, and here he is telling us if you need to get reports from a certain organizational unit or a report for the whole domain. So I need the users in the whole domain, not the users in a certain organizational unit. Here we can see that when tell him to generate, he will begin collecting data. Here we can see that he is listing the users. We have display name, the user display name in the Active Directory, the SAM account or the username, the email address, the department, and we will see that we can add more info. So we can add more columns with more info. So let's see, or we can pass it real quickly here. So here, for example, we can add or remove columns, and we will add all of these data: password expire, distinguished name. So we can get all of this data. So you will get useful data, not only the display name, the email account, the department, and the organizational net. You can get a lot of data. So we can add them all and then begin discover it, or we can export it. So this is very, very useful data. So here we are adding all of the columns, tell him OK, and then we can see that here, for example, there is additional data added. Here, for example, password never expires. So this is a username that have a password for never expire. Password expire in, if you can get in 11 days. Remember that I have an Active Directory report manually done by this. We have login hours, workstations, user, password expire date, primary group if it is a member of a group, password last set, okay, if it is reset, never expires, SID, the batch or the login script. So it is very, very useful info. Just a moment, guys. So as we can see here, this is very, very useful information. We can see that password expires in days, so he gives you the days. Okay, remember that I have make a report, Active Directory Live report with the same criteria. And you can see here distinguished name, domain name. So there is a lot of useful info, and then you can export them after that. So you can tell him from here, export as. So here you can export this report. But I will sign out now, okay, and then we will begin seeing the PDQ software. So here you can see this is a very, very useful software. Actually it seems to be very organized. The menus seems to be clean and simple. There is no complicated menus. All of these are simple and straightforward. So now we will I think why I'm not opening the console anyway. So I think there is no need to open the console, but we will go there. This is the Hyena. I don't need the Hyena anymore. So here I am just making sure that all of the services are running. So anyway, we will not do this. So this is all of the services running, just to make sure that everything is running properly. Now we will collect the software that we need to be deployed, okay, to a lot of PCs. We will use the group policy for this method. So I am just collecting the software that I need to be deployed and put it in a shared folder, and let the group policy access this shared folder and set up the software from it. So here this is the 7-zip program. It is 64-bit. And I need it to be deployed. Okay, so here I put it in the background folder. So this folder is shared. Okay, remember this folder contains some files the Active Directory login script will use. So here I am getting the software that I need to be deployed. We need the Edge. Okay, all of this software is .msi extension. So we have the 7-zip program. We need it to be deployed, and then the Microsoft Edge. We will copy it, and then we will take the Firefox as well. So I'll go there and put it in the backgrounds. Okay, so here we will have all of it, and then we need to have the Firefox. So all of these are softwares that will be deployed. We will deploy it in two ways, using the group policy and using the PDQ. So we will see these two methods. So now we will go and copy. This is the Chrome. We will get the Chrome also as .msi file. This is the also Chrome. All of these are .msi files. So here we will go and add it to the backgrounds folder. This is a shared folder. Okay. and then what we will do, we will have also the Firefox. So I need to have the Firefox also to be added to the list of software that we will deploy. So we will, I don't see it here in my virtual machine, so I think I will get the source file from my laptop. But anyway, I'm just checking. Let's see, where is the Firefox. The Firefox will be, I think, somewhere here. Anyway, I think I will get it from my laptop, so I will need to go to the shared folder between my laptop and my virtual machine. I think it's there. Okay, if we go down, I think, yes, it is there. So this is the Firefox, so we will get it. This is also .msi file, and we'll put it in the background folder. And then I think we need also to install the classic shell. So also I have the classic shell software. This is a software that makes the menu of Windows 10 or Windows Server like Windows 7. So here we have also the classic shell as .msi file. So we have about 5 programs. We need to install them or to deploy them to a lot of PCs, and they will be deployed silently without the information or without the interference of the user, and they will done silently without any notification. Okay, so now we have another program. I have a bunch of programs actually. I have used it in a previous lab, so I will copy this folder. This contains a lot of software I can deploy later, so I am copying the folder. And then we need to go to the group policy and deploy or use the group policy to deploy this different software that we have collected. Okay, so let's wait for a moment and see. So I think we can pass it really quickly also here. So now we will go to the, just a moment, so let's go further. So here we will open the group policy and we will go to the WSOS. So I use the WSOS group policy to deploy software. So right click and edit, right click and edit, and then we will go to the software deployment. There is something called software. Go to computer configuration. Okay, go to the computer configuration, and then so there is policies, then software setting, and then software installation. Here are old software that was deployed in the previous lab, so I will delete them. So we will remove it and tell him OK, and then we'll remove these two, and then go to the shared background folders and add them here. So to deploy a software, you need to have a folder shared, and let the group policy point to this shared folder that contains the software. So we'll tell him a new package. Okay, and then we need to get, just a moment here, so we need to go, just a moment, we need to go to the, just a moment again. So here, just a moment, so here what we will do here we'll tell him assign software, the deployment, just a moment. So here we added the 7-zip. Here is the location. So here is the 7zip.msi program, and it is in the background shared folders on the primary domain controller. Okay, so we will add all of the software here one by one. So here this is the second package, and there is the shared folder, and then we tell him assigned. Then we will add the software, then begin adding the different softwares here one by one. Okay, so here we will add the Firefox. Okay, assigned, and then we will add the different software. By the way, there is a trick here. This will not be applied once. So if, for example, you open a workstation and you didn't see the software installed, restart the workstation number of times until the software appears. So it will not be deployed instantly. It needs to have a couple of restarts so the deployment will finish. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 software: Classic Shell, Chrome, Edge, Mozilla, and all of these. So this is the software that we need to deploy. This is the first method. Then we need to use the PDQ to deploy the software, the second method. Okay, here we can see that this WSOS policy is applied to a number of organizational units, but I have missed one in the city brain. So there is the nerve cells organizational unit. I need this group policy to be applied to this organizational unit. So what we will do, we will go and tell him, just a moment, just guys here. So we will go and tell him, right click, just a moment, let's go further here. So we will go to the organizational unit and tell him link to an existing GPO. I need this group policy to apply to computers in this organizational unit, WSOS policy. So now we have our group policy ready for deployment, and then we will open the PDQ software and use it as the second method for deployment of software. So let's see how this will be done. So so let's open and see this software. So I think I have a little bit of time here. So we will close the console or save the console, and then we will open the PDQ. First of all, I will take a snapshot. So before, we'll say before audit of user. I will show you all what I mean by before audit of user, but this will be in an upcoming video. We will audit some users. We will use our free tools that I have mentioned earlier to audit some users activity. Okay, and we'll show you all how you can do this, and we will take a snapshot from the primary domain controller as we have done in the additional domain controller before user audit, and then take a snapshot, and then we will begin working with the PDQ software. Here we can see that this is the screensaver. So the group policy has applied the screensaver successfully. So we will Control Alt Delete, and then we will begin using the PDQ software to deploy a couple of softwares. So this is my domain admin account. So we will open the PDQ. Here I think we'll open the software. So this is it. He will begin asking you to, we are using the free mode or the license mode. Here the free mode, we will use the free mode, okay? And we have a limit of 25 PCs to deploy software to. So this is for the free mode. Okay, we will tell him next, and then he will ask for a username and the password. This will have, or this should have, rights on the PCs in the domain for installation of software. So this requires an administrator credentials to deploy software, must be administrator on this computer. So who is the administrator on all of the PCs in the domain admin. Okay, and we have said because the domain admin group is a member in all of the local administrators group in all of the PCs in the domain. So we will use Karim Raouf. He is the intelligent, or he have taken my user, and then we will put the password and tell him finish. So this is two ways to deploy the software, through a group policy or through this software, and we will use the third one but not in this video, through using Chocolatey. And you can use also a script to deploy the software silently, but this is the fourth method, and I will discuss it also how we can do it. But finish, and then we will have some interface. So tell him finish, and then we will go and have this interface. So here we can see that this is the interface. We will tell him packages, a new package. So let's see here, just a moment. Again sorry. So here what we'll do, we will go and again. So here what I will do, I tell him all deployments, I tell him to import package. Here I will import software. For example, VLC, it's software like a media player. I will tell him to import the software, right click and import the package that I need to deploy. So I'll tell him import, okay, and then I will go to the folder that contains this software. So let's go here again. So here this is the location of the software. It's in deploy application, so I just import, and this is the location of the software, the location of the deployed software. And here is some things interesting. Here he is telling it that it will be installed and there is no restart after the installation, and it is quiet. It means it is not visible for the user, and this is the command line. So you can simply take this command line and put it in a login script or in a batch script or using in the PowerShell. So you can use this instead of using the whole software, and this is a very good thing. You can use the PDQ deploy to get the silent command installation for any software you need. So this is also a good way. Okay, so maybe it's not .msi. If you can get an exe file, it will give you also the parameter. So this is very good. You can use it here, and there is a lot of things. Actually, I didn't use it, so let's continue. So here is the package. Again, just a moment. So here we have done the package. So this is the package. Just a moment. So here we have a new package. This is the VLC program, and this is the package. We need to deploy, or we need to deploy it to some software, or sorry, to deploy to some PCs. So you need to make a target. Okay, so this is a target list. It will contain some computers we will deploy this package to. So we have made, just a moment. So we have made a package. This package, it is the VLC media player. So it is already in the PDQ software, and we need to target or to install to some target computers. So we will go to the target list and choose a couple of computers to deploy this software to. So here we will make a target list, we will name it, and then we will choose our computer targets. So here we will choose from the Active Directory computers. Okay, and then we will use, here is the domain, and then we will choose a couple of PCs. So here we will have the domain controller, and then we will have the additional domain controller. Okay, and then we will have our two workstations that have Windows 10 installed on them. So here we will go further and next. Okay, and then we have 4. So this is the list. We will give it a name and a description, and then we will tell him to deploy the package to this target list. So we will tell him VLC target list. Okay, and then here you go. So we have, here is the list, and then we need to deploy this software to it. So we will show you all how we can deploy it later. So let's go. Later we will do this, and now we will again return to the ADManagerPlus. So we will go and log in now, and then we begin having some reports, or we will run some reports. So here we'll go to all users again, and then we will generate the report. So we'll generate the report again, or it's already generated before, so he have saved this generated report, and then we'll tell him to export. So this has run before, so we'll tell him please export as from here, export as a PDF. So here we will go and tell him export as CSV file. Okay, so here you go. We'll tell him as a CSV file, or we can have it as a PDF or a lot of so if you go a little bit further here, so we can see here that there is a lot of file extensions this report could be exported to: a PDF, an Excel sheet, a CSV file or text file, HTML file, or CSVDE. So this is also a good one because you can use it later to import and export to the Active Directory. Okay, so now we will tell him to import it as a CSV file, and then he will load sometime, because there is 4,000 users with different information, so it will take a little bit of time, and I didn't have patience to wait. So actually it will begin running this report here in the background, and then he will download a CSV file for you here through the browser. So this will take a lot of time, and I didn't succeed in waiting. So what I have done, I need to go and run another report. So here what I have done, I get to the group reports. So I have here, just a moment, let's go further here. So here I will go and gain. So let me show you all paused. Okay, let's see. So here I will go and run group report. So we can go further here. So here is something, group report, something called all groups. So we tell him to generate the group reports for all of the domain. So generate. Just a moment, guys. So let's continue, guys. Now we will have another report. So I have taken, or I have created a less or a report that doesn't contain a lot of info, but anyway this will have the reports of all of the groups in the domain and their, I think, the membership of the users. So it will run. Okay, it will take some time, and we can add a lot of things here. When we run the report, it will download a file. So if you can wait just a moment, here we can see that this is the report. At the end it will download a report here. So this is how we can get a report from the ADManagerPlus. And here, if you have a little bit here further, so here you can also have another report to get group members from here. Okay, so you can have group members. So there is a lot of things you can do. There is group members, so you can have group members here also. So this is a report for the groups only. You can have another report with the group members. Okay, so here this is the report. We will take it and put it to the total inventory report. So we'll cut and put it in the total inventory folder. So we will tell him Active Directory, and then we'll right click and paste. So this is simply how you can run a report and export it from the ADManagerPlus. And I think this software is fantastic. It has a lot of things. So here you can choose the group that you need to get the users membership, or the group that you need to know how much users are in it. Okay, so I will tell him I need all of it, so I will choose it all and tell him okay. But this also will take a lot of info because there is a lot of users. We have about 4,000 users, so this will take a lot of time. So it will take very much time. You can see here that it will have a lot. It will take some time, very large time. So what I will do here, I will open the workstation and see if the software will be deployed or not. So we will open the virtual machine, and then we will take some time. Okay, and then I will log in to this machine and see if the software it is applied or not. So this is Elon Musk user, and we need to see if the software will be deployed. Actually it will not be deployed instantly. Just so let's continue, guys. Now we will have this report. It is fetching the groups in the Active Directory and their members, so it will take some time. And now we have logged into the machine that's joining the domain, and we'll see if the group policy of deploying the software will be applied or not, or it will be working or not. let's see here. Here we can see still that none of the software is still applied. We need to make a couple of restarts. Okay, here you can see still the report is working. It will take a little bit of time. So here we can see if we go and check the software or check the start menu, we will not see any software still yet installed. Okay, so that means that the GPO of deploying the software is not working. It need to have a couple of restarts, okay, because here we will not see the classic shell, the 7-zip, the Chrome, the Firefox. All of these are not still working. So we will shut down, or we will sign out or shut down the PC and restart it, or restart it again. Here we can see the group or the report still running. So we have still running the report. Okay, and we will try to deploy the upcoming video. We will try to deploy softwares using the PDQ. We will do this at the upcoming video. So hope this was informative for you all, and I'd like to thank you all for viewing. Thank you so much.